I don't meditate anymore. Do you want to know why I don't meditate anymore? It's because when I sit down to meditate now, it's pretty much the same experience as when I'm not meditating. I have a meditative mind now, but that wasn't always the case. When I was meditating 3 times a day, I had less of a quiet mind. I was meditating in the morning, in the afternoon, and before bed. But now I have more mental peace than when I was meditating all the time. How is that even possible? It's because of an understanding. It's because I found an understanding of how the mind worked, of how thought worked. And I want to share that understanding with you because mental peace is what we need more of in this world. People are so revved up in their own minds, so much so that they can't even relax. I couldn't even relax when I was in my revved up state and trying to meditate and trying to do all of these things. It wasn't working, it wasn't helping. But this understanding helped me. My name is Rich Life, and I work with thought leaders, coaches, speakers who struggle with imposter syndrome. When they can drop imposter syndrome, then they can realize their impact journey. They can make a difference in the world. And this space that you have found right now, this space is the Rich Life Realization Podcast. In this space, we are exploring together the richest life possible. Because the rich life is so incredible. It's beautiful. It's vibrant. You notice all of these rich details, the texture of each moment of life. I want more people to be able to experience that. And that's why I've created this podcast. Today, we're going to be talking about the meditative mind versus the active meditation, and how I found an understanding of how the mind worked that gives me more mental peace than the active meditation. It gives me a meditative mind, a quiet mind. I can go for a walk now and have thoughts every once in a while. They're slow. They flow like a river. A, a river that is cool and calm. A stream where I feel like most people's minds are churning and they're raging like rapids. They're not even able to pay attention to the people that they care about. They're not able to connect. They're not going to have as great of ideas because their mind and their thoughts are tumbling around. Do you feel like you're in the spin cycle, in your own spin cycle of this thought process? If you do, listen to this episode. And you can try meditation. It is, a lot of people swear by it. It's nice, right now I feel like, oh yeah, take it or leave it. I really don't care for it as much anymore, but I used to be obsessed with it. I would have to start my day with meditation. I would wake up at earlier and earlier. I was waking up at 5 in the morning. I liked all the different kinds of meditation. I tried them all. Maybe not all of them. There's so many of them, but I tried every single one that I could think of that would help. I tried transcendental meditation, mantra meditation. I tried the radical acceptance meditation, open meditation, focus meditation. I tried something called the 6 phase meditation. I tried gratitude meditation, affirmation meditation. I thought that one was really the ticket. I felt really good after that one. I tried walking meditation, qigong moving meditation. I became a certified yoga teacher, so meditation while in yoga poses. And all of this meditation, I thought it was helping. I thought, man, I was so proud of myself. I was like, I am the meditation master. I'm like, I'm so disciplined, and all these other people need to meditate like me. Why aren't they meditating? I'm laughing at myself because it can be helpful. If you want to meditate, that's great. Go ahead and meditate. If you feel like it helps you get centered, great. That's totally fine. For me, it was an understanding that worked better than a meditation. This understanding was about the nature of thought and the mind. So this understanding, it's called the three principles. It came to a man named Sydney Banks, who was a Scottish mystic. Before he had his enlightenment experience, he was a welder with a 9th grade education that worked in a factory. It's kind of funny, kind of crazy how that randomly happens to people. But he put this in a way that I heard. He put this, the nature of our human experience, in a way that quieted my mind. He talked about the nature of consciousness, the nature of thought, and the nature of the mind. When you understand thought, for some reason, it just tends to die down because you're understanding its nature, your levels of thought. They can rise and they can dip. You tend to feel really great with lower levels of thought. When you have higher levels of thought, you're going to get burned out. You're going to have trouble sleeping. You're going to struggle a little bit in life. It's going to feel like life is kind of coming at you a little bit faster than you can handle. You feel like, oh, there's not enough time in the day. But when you've quieted down, there's a flow to life. Time seems to slow down. You have clarity, you have wisdom that comes through. And that's what I want to help other people have. That's what I do when I work with my clients, is I use soulful listening to help them slow their minds down so that they can experience their own wisdom. And their own wisdom will give them a single thought, a realization into the nature of, it could be of consciousness or the mind, but it could be of something in their life. It's going to fit with each person. It's going to be exactly what they need in that moment. It's really unpredictable. But if you continue to look in this direction, it is reliable. It will happen. That's my invitation to you. is to look in this direction of your spiritual nature, of what's underneath the thoughts, the thought itself. What is the thought itself made out of? What is before the thought? That is where you will find your answers. That is where you will find the secrets to who you really are, your nature. And you don't have to work at it. You don't have to have a daily discipline routine. You look at and you explore the nature of thought itself. You explore the nature of consciousness. The consciousness makes real your thinking. And then it's impersonal too. It doesn't matter what thoughts it's given. It says, okay, we'll make that real. We're gonna do that. Oh, it's like the one of the metaphors that's used a lot is I heard this one from Michael Neal. It's like the special effects department. That it says, hey, we've got the budget. Let's do the explosions. But it can just as easily do the nature scenes, the quiet, the peace, the love, the joy. And that's one of the other really important pieces. When you understand the nature of thought, you understand that you don't have to control it. I think with a lot of the people who are advocating this meditation, they want you to master your mind. They want you to be able to control your thinking. But it doesn't work that way. Because your mind cannot control itself. It is what's creating the thought. And if you try and use it to control thought, it just adds to thought. That there is something else that can quiet our minds, that can bring us peace. And that is the wisdom within. It's Sydney Banks would call it mind. Mind is this operation energy of life that is within us. And that is so much better at quieting our minds. Our own wisdom will do it for us. And sometimes it takes time. Sometimes I get into my own head and I just don't fight anymore. Because I know that if I let go, if I let the thoughts dissolve, they're gonna dissolve. Sometimes that takes a little bit of time. And sometimes you don't realize that you're holding on to thoughts, that you're creating the thought cycles. But when you realize it from your own wisdom, then it doesn't make sense to hold on anymore. It doesn't make sense to create the thought cycles. And that brings us into a quieter state. Peace. There's joy there too. Wonder, love, connection. That is what's beyond your thought. It's a feeling. Sid would describe it as a feeling. this feeling beyond your thinking that you can't figure out with your intellectual mind. But your inner wisdom knows it already. And I wish I could share it with you. I wish I could transfer it to you and just, well, wow. I can't. I might be able to trigger it. I help my clients to trigger their own wisdom. You might be able to listen to this and it might trigger it. There is an infinite depth to the peace that you can experience in this life. Quiet, the space that your innate knowing then can come through. Your innate knowing, it whispers, it doesn't speak very loudly. It is very easy to drown out. And I think that's what confuses people all of the time, especially people who are trying to listen to their intuition. They drown it out and they get confused. But it whispers, and you can hear it if you're listening from the space of a quiet mind, a meditative mind. When you have clarity, may you find your peace, your clarity. It is just beyond this layer of thinking. It has created a barrier. Your thinking creates a barrier. But guess how thick that barrier is? Not very thick. It's paper thin. But it looks from where you're standing like it's all encompassing. Looks like it's 1,000 miles thick. But no, it's paper thin. And on the other side of that is your own mental peace. And all it takes is one thought. So whenever you get up into your own head, I was working with a coach, Dick and Bettinger, earlier. And he said that when you get into those low moods, when you're getting up into your head, that is an opportunity. Yeah, that's an opportunity to let go of your current thinking, to go beyond it, for that one thought to come through, and for you to find peace again. Because peace is who you are. That's the great news. That's awesome. Peace is who you are when you're not taking yourself away from your own peace. You just don't realize that you're doing it to yourself. And that's why I don't meditate, because I don't have to find peace. I know that peace is already within me, that it comes from the inside. And maybe I'll get back into meditation. Maybe. But I know that I'm going to continue to explore this space within, this infinite space within. And I'm inviting you. I want you to join me. Listen to my podcast. Connect with me on social media. I want you to have the mental peace that I've experienced this last year without having to meditate. And I don't ask for much for this because I want to impact the world with this. I am on my impact journey. So what I would love, I would just be over the moon, if you would share this with somebody that you think needs some more mental peace, that person that is burning themselves out with the power of their own mind. If you share it with them, we can impact more people together in this journey. And thank you. Thanks for coming on this with me. It's so good to have company. Every time I see that somebody's listened to this, I don't care if it's one person. It brings joy to my heart. It really does. It really does. So thank you. May you find your mental peace today. And may you realize your richest life.